Ready.
Set.
Gamecast.
Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to Ready Set Gamecast, a bi-weekly podcast about video games and math. I'm Bryce, and I'm joined by the irrationally complex numero uno, Darian.
Hello.
And the most mathematical girl on the web, Teddy Chinaris.
I failed my most recent college math test.
That's why I told him I didn't want to be
really
a mathematical girl. I was like, no.
Hey man, it's okay. I'm allowed. That's fine. You know, it's 2018.
Because we know all of these nicknames that I've used are entirely accurate and in no way jokes.
I am a sous chef in real life.
True.
It's true, yeah.
And Teddy's definitely the master chef. Hey, Darian.
Hey, what?
What is the biggest number you can think of?
420.
Nice. I mean, well, that's the wrong meme.
Nice.
Nice.
Blaze it.
If
What
for
are you
some
getting rid of
reason,
over there?
if for some reason you missed the last episode, we now record on Mondays and release on Fridays. So that's said.
So there, I said it.
Hey, Darian. Again. Doing it again. Hey, Darian. What have you been playing?
I am keeping it simple. Just been playing League and PUBG and Zelda.
Have you been keeping it simple and clean?
Simple and clean.
Even I get that reference. I've never played the game.
I'm making some real progress in Zelda. I'm about to get the second Divine Beast in my gameplay.
Give us an update on how you have been liking it.
I still love it. I still die a lot. Slightly less because I started taking my chat's suggestions and just buying hearts because I was like alternating like heart, stamina, and I did that like 4 times before they're like, no, stop getting stamina upgrades. Knock it off. And I'm like, what? Why?
I would still say go full stamina. It's easier to outrun a battle, outrun a fight than.
I think that's ridiculous. I don't think that's true. I think it's easier to outrun a fight if you're at fucking max stamina, sure, but it takes forever to get there, even if you're fully going on stamina.
Yeah, running
I think
isn't
you
all that
underestimate
fast.
how
I
long
could just
it
get a horse
takes.
and have all of the health and be good.
I never mess with the horse.
I have 2 horses.
You became your own horse.
I found it. So before I rode a horse for real or like figured any of that out, I went and got and found a giant horse.
Okay.
The Ganon horse.
Uh-huh.
What?
Yo, there's giant horses in this game?
Yeah, it looks like Ganondorf as a horse.
Did not know
great.
that existed.
Yeah, there's like a side mission. It's in like the bottom of the map underneath like the hilly and like the one you start on. It's like south of that.
The plateau?
Yeah. Well, if you go south, it's like a lot of plains and hills, and there's like a
I'm just gonna
crevice?
provide gameplay while y'all talk about Zelda.
Hell yeah.
Teddy, tell me what the name of the plateau you start on is. Pull up
I think
the map.
it's literally just the Great Plateau. But
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, you have a map in your hands.
Yeah. So
Are you like zoomed all the way out? Oh, he's in a.
he's in a shrine,
Yeah,
I think.
it's literally the Great Plateau Tower is what
Oh,
it's. So yeah, it's
yeah.
the Great
You
Plateau.
only have one part of your map unlocked?
I played most of this on the Wii U, remember?
Oh, that's right.
And then
okay,
I got
was
this
like,
again,
what
and
the
then I haven't
fuck?
played it much since I got it again because there's a billion other games on the Switch. Mainly Mario Kart 8. I play so much Mario Kart, and I didn't think I would. It's so good. And that rhymed.
Okay, Darian. So you've been enjoying it?
Yes.
Cool.
Lots. It's beautiful. So, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but...
You're wrong.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good. Got it. Go on.
No, but like, so I didn't have much exposure to Zelda before this game.
Okay, me
So
either.
different is it? So you might not know either. How
Very.
different is it from previous games?
Very.
Like, is the story
Very.
like completely different? Is it
The
an
story?
entirely new story?
I don't think any Zelda's really had a story.
This one
What he
super duper has a story.
Eh.
I mean, the gameplay that you have doesn't have a story, but before, like the story of what happened before.
I mean,
you
most
woke up
stories
and, like,
are you gotta
fighting
save
and
Zelda
stuff.
and Ganon's evil and go.
Yeah.
So,
It's-
yeah.
So no, it's not
Story-wise,
different
it's
at all.
pretty much
Yeah,
the same.
every time it's Zelda's
And I know
reborn,
Zelda fans are gonna
Gandalf's
fucking
reborn,
come at
you
me
gotta fight.
about that. Yeah, pretty much. It's very different gameplay-wise, like extremely different. Most Zeldas are known for dungeons. Like Zelda has, you go in this one zone, you find a bunch of new creatures and whatnot. Maybe you get a new item, like a bow or whatever, that lets you basically like throughout the world. There are areas that you can only get with that item. So you go into that area, and then you go into the dungeon, and then at the final bit of the dungeon, you get the item, and then you come out of the dungeon, and you're like, oh, I can get to all these places now, and then you keep doing that throughout the thing of the game, and that's like Zelda's thing.
It's very linear.
And then this is very different.
It's pretty linear, right? The older Zeldas are kind of.
I mean, it'll
because
yeah.
you need to do the dungeon to get to the next area, basically.
Yeah.
So whereas this, like, you get your 4 powers,
very
and
different.
then you can basically go and do anything you want. You don't get any. You get the
You don't
divine.
even need the powers. I can just run around and do whatever the fuck I
Well,
want. Pretty
there's
much.
a lot of puzzles and stuff that you need a magnet or whatever to access something.
Oh, I thought.
Not the
I
divine
guess I don't
beast.
remember
the,
acquiring those powers
yeah,
so much.
I'm talking about the 4 that you get on the plateau, and then not the divine beast. The divine beast just
Yeah.
help. You can beat the game. You can do everything without the divine beast powers. They just help.
Yeah. The Zelda games that I played before Breath of the Wild were very the puzzles were a lot harder. Like they were very like the dungeons were puzzles and you had to get through. Whereas in this game the puzzles are like the shrines and they're very mini bite-sized versions, whereas usually you go into a dungeon in Zelda and you're like, okay, to get here I gotta use this guy, and then you gotta like remember how it all connects and like remember the map and how to get out, and it was difficult.
I mean,
for a dumb
the
kid
divine
like me.
beasts are a little bit of that, but it's. I appreciate that they give you those bite-sized puzzles that you can constantly do, and they're like some of them make you think in really creative ways. It's really cool. But let's move on to Teddy Chinaris and his lifestyle choices.
Bad ones. That's what I make. Then okay, we'll go in a weird order here. I'm just gonna go randomly. Stardew Valley. I actually played like a couple of days on the Switch the other day because I think at the end of the stream I was like, what should I end with? And I put out a poll and Stardew won, and I was like, okay, I haven't played this in a while. Let's load up Stardew Valley, and I played a couple of days of that. Stardew Valley is so fucking good. Celeste is awesome, and is very good, and is very hard, and I've probably played like 3.5 hours of that or something, and I'm not very far in it because it's really difficult. But man, it's so good. The music and the art and like the actual level design is really, really good. I wish I had more time to just sit down and play it. I actually loaded up Destiny 2 for the first time in like months the other day. When I loaded it up for like 20 minutes during Iron Banner week, and then after that, the next Thursday, a friend of mine like planned a raid, like sent out a PlayStation event invite, and I was like, oh, I don't have to plan it for once, so I joined, and then everyone showed up, and we did a raid, and it was crazy.
So now it makes sense. They just
Exactly, because I'm not planning. They don't even think I'm gonna be there. So when they get there, like, oh shit, Teddy's here. I guess we gotta do it anyways. No, so we did the raid layer, and then we joined the next night, and we did Callus the first night, the Leviathan, then we did the raid layer the next night. And man, I really missed raiding in that game. There is nothing like a raid in Destiny ever. Like there's no feeling like it, and it's awesome. But I'm really looking forward to the changes they're going to make. We'll talk about that later. And I've been playing Overwatch a little bit because the Overwatch League is fucking fantastic. It's awesome. It's very fun to watch. It's really well structured. The production is incredible. And recently I literally started a fantasy league for the Overwatch League because that's how deep I am into it. But that's pretty much it, unless I forgot something.
Like, is there a website to do it, or did
It's
you
a third-party website.
Okay, you're not trying to figure out points and stuff yourself.
No, oh my god. Tracking every player's points. Oh, that would be ridiculous. No, somebody made like their own website for it with stats.
That seems cool.
It's fun. We're gonna do like it finally went through basically today, and as soon as it did, everyone's like, oh, we're already working on trades. We're trying to get people from other people's teams and preparing for the matches. It's really fun. So yeah.
I played one sort of. I'm a busy boy. I got a lot going on. I'm in the middle of moving. The next podcast will have maybe very different sound and different background because I will be in a new house with roommates and stuff.
I love how your busy is one game. My busy's like, wow, I only played 4.
Yeah, and that is why Teddy is constantly behind in his schoolwork.
It's very true. I have 6 assignments due on Thursday of math. I also have like 5 journals that I'm behind on, but that I can just finish by the end of the semester, so it's okay.
Hey, is this an online math course that you're doing, or is it
there's like an actual portion where she teaches, and then it's like she teaches, does a little lecture, and then's like, okay, work on your online stuff. So yeah. And the online stuff isn't that bad, but well, okay, the online stuff is terrible. What she teaches is fine, and she teaches it well, and then what's on the test is like, okay, that's fine, you know, you taught this in class, right? But then you go online, and there's all this stuff that she didn't teach. And I'm like, what? It's very annoying. But I've struggled through it. I did one the other day that wasn't nearly as bad as the couple I did last week, so I don't know. Hopefully all of them will be like that.
When I had algebra in college, all the homework was on a website, and I had my girlfriend at the time basically do it for me.
Wow. I had a friend from Twitch named Shonen help me, and he's like a programmer for a living, so he was like, sure, I'll help. And we spent like hours in Discord video. We're like sharing screens, so he saw my problem, he would do like a whiteboard thing, and it helped.
That's very cool. That's very
yeah, it was nice. Otherwise I would have fucking failed that so bad. I still need to get with him for these, but I'm gonna see how many I can do on my own.
All right, but I've just like last day or so, I downloaded Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, and I've just been messing around with that. I have played a little bit of it on like the full game on PS4. I basically got to the point where the Kingsglaive movie takes place in the PS4 version.
That's not super far, but that's like decently far in.
That's a little, yeah.
It's like, yeah.
But so I just wanted to check out what the Pocket Edition was like, and so
I didn't know the Pocket Edition was out. Honestly.
Yeah, it just came out. And it's Chapter 1 is free, and it's basically the exact same game, but with like the characters all chibi-ized. They cut out some stuff. The really cool Florence and the Machine cover of Stand By Me didn't make the mobile version, which sucks because it's a really good song. But the gameplay, like the combat, feels like simple but like satisfying. There's enough for you to do that you constantly kind of are paying attention and trying to like parry moves, switch off enemies, do jump around attacks and stuff, and it's pretty cool. And like they cut out a lot of BS that it's kind of like streamlined the game. And
so do you remember how the combat worked in 15?
Yeah, I mean,
how does it work in comparison? Like, 15 is I think 15 did a great job. It's a super unique combat system, and there's something kind of magical about the flow of that system, but it's also like kind of weird and convoluted, like how you press the buttons and the camera's super finicky. Like, how do they put that on a touch screen? Like,
well, for one, there's no like camera. It's all kind of top down. So like
Okay.
you're not looking for pillars or whatever to beam to. You can kind of hold down on an enemy and beam to them and do your that attack. But basically, it just kind of auto attacks. You can switch between weapons. And also, if something tries to attack you, you'll have a little meter like a circle that'll count down really quick. And if you click it quick enough, you'll parry the attack and strike them back. Or if it goes too far, then you can click it and you'll just dodge the attack. Or if you miss it completely, then you'll get hit by the attack. I imagine it seems like the further you get in, more things unlock. And also, sometimes you'll get those teammate moves where another character will be able to do kind of a power move with you, so that it'll show on the side of the screen of like Gladios, and then you click on him and he does a thing. But so far, it's like enough that I'm kind of paying attention and kind of trying to target the weaker guys and stuff. But it's not something that I'm like, man, this is a lot to handle. It's pretty simple and chill. So, yeah,
I kind of want to check it out.
My one complaint with it is that the load times are super long. It's very annoying getting that game loaded up or switching between areas. But it's fully voice acted, and pretty chill.
Is it the same voice acting?
I think the main characters are. I feel like the king had a different voice in the PS4 version. I think I like the voice actor of the king in the mobile version more.
I'm pretty sure a couple of voice actors for characters in the movie, the Kingsglaive movie, are different than the ones in the game.
Yeah.
So it also could be that, but yeah.
Because they got a like big name actor for the king in the Kingsglaive movie, but they didn't get him for the game, which kind of bugged me because I remember the king in the game not being as good.
Yeah. I mean, the actor in the movie was actually like super cool, and I was like, oh.
I really like the Kingsglaive movie. A lot of people talk shit about it, but I really like it.
I don't. It's kind of bad.
Well,
it's not terrible. It's fine. It's fine. It's a fine movie.
Talking about mobile games, we'll get into some news. Nintendo announces Mario Kart Tour smartphone game. What?
It's crazy. Mario Kart Tour. Nintendo, we should preface this by saying that these next multiple stories are Nintendo stories, because Nintendo just one night was like, you know what? We're just going to tweet out announcements. It's like, who gives a fuck?
I don't know how that really went down. At first, I was seeing people retweeting this like random Twitter account I saw that seemed to be like in the room with Mr. Nintendo, and they were like talking to him. Nintendo. And then like a couple minutes later, I'd see a tweet from the official Nintendo account, like basically saying the same thing this other guy said. And I have his name right now.
I never saw that. Nintendo was just tweeting out all sorts of stuff.
Takashi Makshikzuguri?
Nailed it, dude.
Was tweeting out stuff, seemed to be talking to people, and then, official stuff from Nintendo just was like, Mario Kart Tour coming. Here's the official tweet. Oh god, I clicked on it. The checkered flag has raised and finish line is near. So that
solid translation.
that is a very short race there. Just like it's up and it's almost done. The new mobile application is now in development. Mario Kart Tour, releasing in the fiscal year ending in March 2019. So about a year from now, we'll see that out. You excited to play Mario Kart on your phone?
No. No, not really. I mean, good for Nintendo, man. They're putting whatever they can on their phone. Gonna make a bunch of money from it. But like, I don't see how this is gonna control well, because that's the most important part of a race game is the controlling. And it's gonna be on a touchscreen, so I don't.
It's gonna be weird.
Yeah.
So Pokemon Go was good, but they didn't develop that, right?
Yeah, that was Niantic.
Mario was really
that was
good.
Niantic.
And I would argue that was not good.
Nintendo, since
Mario
the beginning.
Run?
No, I'm saying Pokemon Go. I would argue
Pokemon Go was executed poorly.
Yeah.
The idea was good. I think the release kind of fucked it.
Yeah.
Like all the hype died immediately, and now the game, like now they're starting to get to a point where it's like,
All right.
this could be a sustainable game, but too bad your entire player base is gone.
Well, everyone always says that. Here's the thing. The entire fucking world was playing Pokemon Go. If they lose 99% of that, they have a substantial player base still. Like, it was a cultural phenomenon, man. Like, they totally still have people playing it. But just not to the extent that it was. But yeah, the Nintendo games that have been released since the deal with DNA is Super Mario Run, Fire Emblem Heroes, and Animal Crossing Pocket Camp.
What about
I'm pretty sure
Miitomo?
those are all under that. Oh, and Miitomo, yeah.
So Miitomo is getting shut
Miitomo.
down.
Oh,
Yeah.
shocker.
So
A game that just asks you questions and have you ask your friends questions. What a great
It was
mechanic.
fun for about a minute, and then it was like,
It was fun for
this
about a
is it?
day, and then I was like, okay.
I'm actually curious what Nintendo's like wants out of these mobile games because,
Money.
well, are they expecting them to be sustainable, or are they just kind of getting them out
Fire
there?
Emblem Heroes is still rocking, dude. That game is constantly getting a ton of money. It's like one of the most
Yeah, but
played
that's
like
because-
mobile games.
Isn't that one that you have to spend money to get decent stuff?
It's a loot crate game. It's a
Yeah. It's Loot Crate Simulator, but you have to use real money.
I mean, you can get the loot crates with in-game stuff. I
Yeah,
mean,
you
it's
just
not.
gotta grind.
And I played so much Fire Emblem Heroes. I played a surprising amount of that game. If I were to just guess, I would say probably like somewhere between 10 to 20 hours, and I didn't pay anything. So I don't know. It's totally built around the gacha mechanics, but like you don't need to if you don't want. Like you can still enjoy the gameplay of it. But yeah, it's very much built around that. So that's why it's making a ton of money.
I don't know. I'm curious how they're going to execute it because Animal Crossing Pocket Edition or whatever.
Pocket Camp.
It seems like
Not
people bounced off that really quick.
Hate it.
I didn't
so
expect
bad.
it to be good.
Super Mario, I like that made a big splash, but I think that's gonna be shut down. Like I guess they're still putting out updates. I don't know how well it's doing.
I mean, Mario Run wasn't meant to be like a live service thing. It was meant to be like, here's the game. And it was.
Yeah.
And people paid like $10
I feel like
for
they
it,
don't
so.
need to do updates because it's like this
They
is something you can play like just whenever. Like
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
just
there was
your
like
phone Mario.
I think they released like one or two more worlds, but it was meant to be like, here's an 8. I think it was 8 at launch. I think it was like 8 worlds.
$8.99, I thought.
Well, I think it was $10, but I think it was 8 worlds available at launch.
Yeah.
And then I think they released at least one more big substantial world. But it was supposed to just be like, here's 8 worlds. This is a Mario game. You play world 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you rescue Peach, right? Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah.
So I don't think they expected that to be a live service thing. So
It's cool. I think it helps advertise their main games, and I'm glad they're not trying to replace their full games with like they're not trying to put a real Mario Kart game out and just be like, you gotta play
goodness.
Mario Kart on mobile now, because that would be shitty.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Like I said it earlier, I have so many hours in Mario Kart 8. Like if they were like, the next Mario, the future of our franchise is gonna be on mobile, I would be screaming in the streets.
Well, you know what the future of Mario Kart might be on? Your movie
The
screen.
Nintendo Switch? Oh.
No, your movie screen, because it has been officially announced that Nintendo will be making a Super Mario movie with the studio who made Minions.
Illumination.
Illumination.
Hey.
Please. Minions are disgusting. They also made like Sing, which is a really good
Disgusting.
movie. So
I mean,
like
Despicable Me 1 and 2 are both totally fine movies. I haven't seen
I'd say
3 or Minions.
Despicable
2 is fine.
Despicable
The first
Me
one's
good.
great.
1 is good. The rest
It's
of
good.
them,
the first one is
2
great.
is alright.
Great movie.
Yeah.
They should have stopped there.
they should have.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like they've been focusing on
but-
all the
Can't
bad
blame them,
things.
though.
The thing is that this is not a terrible studio. They made good
It's
movies.
not.
So.
Just like, please stop associating something that could be really great with the thing that's not. The thing that is cancer.
Okay.
It's kind of weird that
Sorry.
they're like the headline is like Minion Studio when it could be like, Despicable Me. That's kind of what started it.
Okay, Darian, give me a possible plot for like how could you picture the plot of this movie being? What did they go a Wreck-It Ralph way? Did they try and go like a classic
Don't
Mario
make
movies
it.
way? What are you thinking?
Don't do it.
I don't know.
Cool.
He's gonna race to the castles in his carts, right?
I mean,
So
he
it's gonna
could
be
play
Mario
golf.
Kart and
He
Super
could play
Mario.
tennis.
He's just like in between each
do whatever,
castle
man.
is a different game. So first he's gonna race to the first castle, and his princess is in that castle. So then he's gonna play tennis
then he's
to the
gotta
next
win a
castle,
golf tournament.
and his princess not in that castle. And then golf, and then the Olympics, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
Sonic will be
Sonic's
there?
gonna be
Yeah,
in there too.
It's crazy, dude.
Then
I
he
honestly it terrifies me because video games being made into movies is like notoriously bad, but I have high hopes for it because I will probably go see it.
Reminder, whenever I listen to a podcast, this is just the thing that bugs me. Whenever I listen to a podcast these days and people start talking about video game movies, they're like, as we all know, they were all garbage. I really, really liked, now I'm not talking about you, but like wherever else. I really liked the Warcraft movie and at me about it on Twitter. Okay? Do it.
I think it's a
Warcraft was
preference
good.
thing because not all video game movies are bad. They don't have a super high
I think the majority of
reputation.
them, the majority of them are pretty bad, but I think everyone's overlooking. Warcraft didn't get terrible reviews. It got a lot of mediocre reviews, and I thought it was good. So just throwing that out there.
I like the Super Mario movie,
It's not out yet. Shut up.
the original one.
No. Shh. That doesn't exist.
Okay. Teddy.
Tomb Raider was good.
Teddy, you own a Nintendo Switch Entertainment
I do.
System. How do you feel? Tell me the new news and tell me about your feelings about it.
The news pretty much is that they announced that they're launching the online subscription service in September. And that's pretty much it. They didn't really say much else, am I correct?
As
Please
I've
wait
included,
for the detail announcement later this year.
Later in the year, which good because it's supposed to come out this year. So okay, it was supposed to launch. Wasn't it originally supposed to launch in the fall of last year? And then they didn't say anything about it, and then they're just now they're like September, so the fall of the next year, I guess.
the guy who I was saying about who was
Just like whenever.
tweeting along with it said, Takayashi, preparing some attractive contents or programs for subscription-based online membership. So I guess are they still doing that game? Like you get a game with it every
That's
month?
what they're supposed to be doing. A game with it, an old game, a retro game that now is going to have online multiplayer.
Here's the thing. They need to launch a big online game along with this in September. Because people are going to be pissed if they're like, oh, these games that you've been playing for the last year for free, now you have to pay for it. They have to announce something. Now, Teddy,
Yeah.
what if Smash Brothers comes out in September?
Oh my god, please! I need Smash so bad, dude. I want it so bad, Mr.
Teddy
Nintendo.
wants Smash.
It's true. No, I would totally. I don't think they're going to.
They
I don't
gotta
know.
do something.
Anything is possible with Smash, when it comes to Smash Bros. But I could see it happening where they launch it with this, but I also could totally see it. I could see this year going by and them never mentioning Smash. It would annoy me. It would be very frustrating, but I could see it. I could also see them announcing it and being like, hey, it's out right now. Be like, all right, sure, Nintendo, whatever. So
Do what you want, Nintendo. I'm gonna give you my money
basically.
anyway.
It's gonna drop in a tweet. They're just gonna be like, Smash Brothers is out. Go. But they're not
We
even
just
doing
released it in all the games.
They're not even making Nintendo Direct videos anymore. They're just tweeting out shit.
Yeah, jeez. So I don't know. They've got to do a lot more for the online service than just announce a big game too as well. Like the online service, man. It's somebody I heard the other day that they brought up that the last time that a console that a big like part of the like, you know, the big names, right, launched a console without an online service or like without voice chat, right, was like the original Xbox. Pretty sure ever since then they've like launched with some sort of way to do online. That might be wrong, but like the point stands. It's 2018 and Nintendo wants you to voice chat through an app on your phone.
I will say that the online service is much cheaper than the alternatives, coming in at $20.
It is cheaper.
$20 a year, or $7.99 for 3 months, or $3.99 for a month. Obviously the per year is by far the like best deal, but if you're like, oh, I just want to play Splatoon for a month and not gonna play anything else, like,
I think it's cheaper because they know that it's not gonna be on par with the other services. But that's just a pessimistic point of view. But Bryce, you want to know something that I'm not pessimistic about?
tell me about Destiny.
Oh,
Destiny 2.
Destiny 2. All right,
Darren, pull out your food, get your snacks.
Go do whatever.
I didn't go get anything.
Oh,
Damn. Here's the thing, right? This week at Bungie came out this week, and it was
I'm sorry,
it was
what?
really good. They've
What
been
came out
really
this week?
nailing the TWAB, as we call it in the Destiny community. They not the TWAB, okay, not that. It came out this week, and it's actually really good. The last couple of weeks, Bungie's been nailing their communication. And this is another example of that. From the roadmap, which let me find real fast, but I'm pretty sure that all of these features that they're talking about is like in the second or third month along the roadmap. Like, I'm pretty sure that all these features that they're talking about right now, yeah, the features that they're talking about right now, the Nightfall scoring and all that, that's supposed to be in February. The raid stuff is in May that they're talking about. If I'm looking at this correctly. And they're just like, another week went by, Deej and Cosmo, and I can't remember the name of the other community manager, and I feel bad about it. His Twitter account's like DMG, so like damage something. But they have been really nailing it. They've been like taking turns on the TWABs each week. This one was written by Cosmo. So they've been going around to the studio and being like, hey, give me some detailed info on like things that we're improving, and I'll do a write-up, and I'll let the community what's going on. So this week they talked about Nightfall scoring. Eventually, oh man, I don't even know if I want to start breaking this down, because it's pretty complicated.
Give me the highlights. Detail.
I guess TLDR, right? There, of course, when Nightfall scoring and Strike scoring comes, they're going to take out the timer that's currently in Nightfalls, and they're going to replace it with the scoring system. Basically, if I'm remembering this all correctly, the way the scoring system works is that the scoring is going to be cut in half at 15 minutes, and then at 18 minutes, it's going to stop, and then you're basically racing to complete the strike so that you can log your score, and it will also start decaying a little bit as time goes on. That's kind of a thing that we saw in Prison of Elders. It's primarily driven by kills and also by orb generation secondarily. But yeah, the score bleeds over time, threshold and all that. And the scoring's team-based, so it's not individual. It looks like they're doing this thing now called Nightfall Challenges. And you get these challenge cards as drops from Nightfalls. and they have different examples. Let's find the examples. It's in here somewhere, but one of the examples that they gave was like, you could basically set it so that if you put the card on before you go into the Prestige Nightfall, you'll get ×2 or ×3 or whatever score multiplier. But if like one of the modifiers is if all of your team dies in a darkness zone, then you get sent back to orbit, which is Destiny 1 Nightfalls, and that's exciting. They had a couple more examples like that just makes it a lot harder, but you get more score for it. So if you really want to be crazy, you can do that. They were also saying that specific challenges maybe will have like, for the higher end of the scoring, you'll have a more different emblems. And your emblem, so I'm pretty sure what they said is if you beat the Prestige Nightfall, you get an emblem that has that's tied to the aura now. So when you have the emblem on, you have the aura, and it gives you, I believe it was plus 25% increase. Oh man, let me find this 25%. Let me find this in the article. So it boosts for your fire team. It boosts the Vanguard token drops in the strike by 25%. So it basically helps out you and your team with your drops. And they also said that in the future, if you score higher, you'll get better emblems. And we assume the aura is gonna be like 50% or something, and it'll be more helpful. The more insane thing that you do, you can help your teammates out. And so that's basically the basics on strike scoring and nightfall scoring. And in the raid, senior designer Joe Blackburn, who I follow on Twitter and is a very cool guy, he was talking about the changes to Prestige, which I think is going to be very, very controversial in the community. But he gave an example. So normally in Prestige mode, how it's been working is that there's the Leviathan, the Prestige Leviathan. The Prestige Leviathan has certain ways that you have to do the specific encounters. So in one, you'll have to, here's an example. So in the dogs area, I think normally there is, it's been so long since I've done the dogs. I think normally there's 4 dogs, 6 dogs. I think there's 4 normally, and then in Prestige they add 2 more, or it's 6 and then 8, but something like that. So they add some more dogs that make it harder, right? And it changes mechanics, changes how you play and stuff like that, which is a great version of how the Prestige raid works, but in this, it's not as easy to develop as what they're talking about right now. So the future of Prestige is, he gave an example. So week 1, the raid activity would be the Eater of Worlds raid lair, and the modifier is marksman. So your precision damage is increased. Landing a precision shot grants 1 bonus ammo directly to the mag, which is kind of cool. And then it requires a loadout. So you have to go in with a hand cannon in your kinetic, a scout rifle in your energy, and a linear fusion rifle in your power weapon slot. So it forces you to play differently. There's other examples in here that include like sidearm, submachine gun, shotgun, and all this. So it like changes your strategy and changes how you play, because defeating it normally is going to be way different from how you defeat it with a sidearm and a submachine gun and a shotgun. So I like this idea. I think of a month, 2 months in, the community's gonna start being like, I want the freedom to use what gun I want to use, and that people are gonna start not liking it a month or 2 months in. That's just my prediction. You heard it here first, but I like the idea. I'm not sure I like it for Prestige. I think it would be a cool, unique challenge thing. But I wish that we could also have Prestige, which is just a harder, different mechanics version. But I like it. Those are the main things from the TWAB. I try to keep it as short as I could, but D2 is my thing, and these are very detailed things that's hard to boil down. So yeah, if you play Destiny 2, keep a lookout. Every TWAB, they are putting out really good stuff and being really, really good with their communication, which is not normal. So good on you, Bungie. Keep it up.
Is Destiny 2 going to be good now?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, okay, here's
No.
oh my God.
No. Darian, Darren, tell me about a good game, video game
that's fine.
series that everybody loves.
That's okay.
And tell me about the great news with that game series.
Well, new in League of Legends, we just got the Valentine's Day skins, Sweetheart Rakan and Sweetheart Zion.
Crimson Days, the Valentine event in Destiny 2 is going live next Tuesday. That reminded me.
No! No to neither of these things! Kingdom Hearts 3! Don't even...
Pretty good game,
Just
too.
kidding.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
That's 2.5 HD remix, isn't it?
It is...
got him.
Yeah, it is 2.8
That's
final...
not Kingdom Hearts
Get
3.
wrecked, kid.
Final... Well, I don't have Kingdom Hearts... Darian.
Excuses.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Hearts 3 released a couple more trailers. One of them is showcasing the new Monsters, Inc. world. And also a couple glimpses at some of the other worlds that were already confirmed, but just like a little bit of gameplay in them. And we also got a song that is probably going to be the theme song for it. And it is called Don't Think? No.
Twice? Don't think
Don't
twice?
Think Twice. There we go.
I don't ever think.
Don't Think. Don't Think Twice. And they had like kind of an acoustic version
Acoustic.
by Utara Hikaru.
See,
Yes,
she's
sir.
nailing the pronunciation. Step up your game, Bryce. Marcus
Just
PSP.
asked me to do it.
Okay.
Just kidding. I've practiced that name a lot. It takes a
Nailed
lot of
it.
practice.
So in the trailer, we see the Monsters Inc. world and emo furry Sora,
I'd smash.
and getting all of the fetishes.
Oh wait,
in one.
God, is he still 16?
I think he's 18 now. I think he's.
Okay,
I think he
I'd
just.
smash.
I think he just hit 18 as this game as
Kingdom Hearts 3, 10 years later, finally 18. It's
Yeah.
almost as bad as Pokemon.
I think Dream Drop Distance brought him to finally being 18. And also, we saw a little bit more of the Toy Story crew. What seemed to be like a boss battle situation, which looked buck wild, where he was just like flying around on a rocket and stuff.
The whole goddamn game, everything that they show, it's like, this game is gonna be crazy! Like, I'm so stoked.
We got to see Rapunzel and Flynn Rider fighting alongside Sora in the Tangled world. A really cool aerial summons.
Oh, I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, you can see Ariel
Like, who's the
inside
mermaid?
inside the. Who's the mermaid? Because Disney has so many mermaids that this could be anybody.
How many sisters does Ariel have?
Why?
Plus her daughter. What if they brought Melody into it, okay?
They're not gonna bring a spin-off movie character in.
You don't know that?
You got to see a little bit of the Hercules world again, and a lot of people talking shit about the Hercules world. Hercules world is the best world of all. If they made a game with only Hercules world, I would play it. I would love it, and I would marry it, and that would be my wife.
Now, are you talking like
Interesting.
just like the Colosseum, or like in Kingdom Hearts 2 when they expanded it to also have the underworld?
All
Because
of
the
it.
underworld was very fun,
All
but
of it.
like the Colosseum in the first game, total waste of my time. I hated that.
I didn't like the training portion of that where you're fighting the barrels, but I loved the like actual fights, the Cloud story, very, very cool.
Yeah, like when you fought Sephiroth and couldn't fucking do it.
You gotta
I couldn't
get good.
beat Sephiroth.
Get good.
Oh,
I beat them
I'm
all.
bad at video games.
I
That's
beat
where
all
it
of-
started, right
I beat all
there.
the
Get
bosses.
good.
And then we also see a bit of the main plot. We see some Organization 13 guys chilling out, and Sora talking some hot shit. He rolling up and being
hot
like,
shit.
"Who are you, biatch?"
Sora doesn't swear. He's
Yep,
a good,
that's exactly
he's a
what
good boy.
happened.
Kingdom Hearts 3, rated M. Bring it
Nope.
hardcore.
Sora doesn't swear. He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
Yeah, we got the
He's a
new
real nice
song,
boy.
and basically, 2018, all our dreams come
Got
true.
a little glimpse of Riku just saying, "Fuck you, Keyblade. I don't need you."
Oh yeah, but also other Riku will need this Keyblade because we're getting everybody. Every side character, every little person is gonna be. God, this final fight is gonna be the greatest thing ever.
I'm literally gonna bawl. I'm so excited for this game.
God, Maleficent's back. Organization 13. Frickin' Roxas, the people from Birth by Sleep.
Hey, I haven't seen a whole lot of Kairi.
Coming back. Yeah, because she's gonna roll in. Everybody's gonna be like, "Where's Kairi?" She's gonna come in. She's gonna take down the big boss all by herself. It's gonna be a great scene.
Kairi and Sora are just gonna stop the whole game just to bang. That's why it's rated M.
What?
What?
Okay.
I ship it, Kairi and Sora.
Here's my only.
You know who Teddy
question.
ships? Kaz Hirai. Tell me about
And who would I?
you and
Kaz?
Kaz Hirai.
No thanks. But
Kaz
here, before
Hirai?
we move off of Kingdom Hearts real fast, why? I just have a quick question for you two.
Explain the plot of Kingdom Hearts.
No.
Start
God,
from
no.
the beginning.
God no.
Which beginning? You pick.
Are you sure it's gonna be 2018?
I don't
No,
think it's
it's
getting.
not confirmed.
The trailers say
just-
2018. It might get pushed back.
I honestly think it. I think it will be too. But I just, cause like, why? There's so many examples, right? Spider-Man is supposed to come out in the first half of 2018, and we don't have a date. Like,
So?
it's February. And
What does that have to do with
4
Kingdom
months
Hearts?
left.
All of this we'll
I
get
don't
dates at
understand.
E3. We'll get dates. All the dates will be announced
Well,
at E3.
Spider-Man and Detroit are supposed to be the
Detroit
first half
Become
of
Human?
2018. Yeah. As far
I'm
as
so
I'm
hyped
aware,
for that game too. I gotta upgrade my PlayStation.
No.
No, it's fine. You're okay.
I have a
you'll be
shitty
alright.
old PlayStation 4.
Unless you have a 4K.
I have
I
a-
launched PS4 and
Do you have a 4K TV?
Kicking.
Do you have an HDR
No.
TV? Then you don't need a Pro. You're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Good.
But yeah, it weirds me out that we're in this age where they're just like, we are in the year, and they're like, yeah, it's this year, but like, we'll let you know when we want to.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd.
I think it'll probably be late this year, but I think we'll get it before 2019. It could be December, but we'll get it. Which might be fun. Like, they could release it whenever. The people are coming out for Kingdom Hearts. The people who want Kingdom Hearts are coming out for Kingdom Hearts.
So Kaz Hirai,
Yeah, tell me about Kaz Hirai.
there's not too much to say except for that he's stepping down as Sony's CEO, which a lot of people, I will say myself included, I kind of thought of him as like a PlayStation guy, just because like that's the name. I don't know. I just kind of thought of that, but he was the CEO of Sony, so he was in charge of a lot more than just PlayStation. Let's find his quote. I'm not sure I'm gonna read his quote because it's pretty
like
dang
movies
long.
too?
But basically, he's saying he's moving on. He thinks it's the best time now for him to move on to better things, and he thinks the company's in great hands and all that stuff. So, Kaz Hirai, you have served Sony for many years. Thank you for all you've done. Go get him, Tiger. Speaking of Spider-Man, that's what Mary Jane says. To the audio listeners, Darian just gave the biggest eye roll I've ever seen in my life.
He will be succeeded by something that Teddy will pronounce.
What does it start with on the page?
It says right there, his successor is company exec
Kenichiro Yoshida.
Yep. And his current
Isn't it
titles
Kenichiro?
are Director, Representative, Corporate Executive Officer, Executive Deputy
Damn.
President, and Chief Financial Officer.
Wow.
So, at least he only has one title now. Big boss.
It seems like he was in charge of a lot already.
Yeah, I
so-
guess it probably makes sense for him to move up.
It went from in charge of this, and this to in charge.
Now, as everyone knows, this is the podcast for all the big Splatoon news.
Except for that one time we tried to skip it.
Well, yeah, we did skip it because
and
it was
a lot of
boring.
the time.
Yeah.
Because,
But
who cares?
new Splatfest coming up. February 16th, the day of this podcast release. Love versus money. Who are you fighting for, Darian? Love or money?
Hold on.
It's a pretty deep Splatfest. That's what I want to say. Love versus money. That's
probably
pretty deep.
It is the most like buck wild.
Instead of like ketchup and mayo,
Yeah.
it's like love or money. Getting into real philosophical questions.
Yeah. Okay, Darian has to like research
The
her
answer
answer.
is money, though.
Really? Teddy's going money.
No, I don't know. Just joking around.
Pick. While Darian's looking up, doing her research, what do you think? Where are you going, Teddy?
I would play for money, just for fun. I mean, it's a video game. Yeah, it's fine. Why not? It's a jokey answer. I'm gonna go for it.
I'm very interested to see how this one shakes out. But I think
I feel like it could easily be all one or all the other.
yeah. I think what I love about Splatfest is that like Twitter just like you see all of these memes and stuff created for like Team Mayo or Team Ketchup or whatever. So I'm
not gonna lie, I haven't seen any news or any mention of the Splatfest on my Twitter feed except for the first two. Ever since then, I've seen nothing. Like the only times I hear about it is from this.
Oh, do you
It's
follow?
kind of like sad.
Viking Jesus on?
No, I don't think. I think I am. If I'm not, I'm supposed to be.
Yeah,
I follow him on Twitch.
I
He's a
follow
cool dude.
a few big Splatoon players, so I see the retweets. Because yeah, I think somebody retweeted that, and that's how it came in my Twitter stuff. But I would go love because I feel like
it's a lie and not real.
I feel like when I've had like money, if I have a lot of money, I am not as happy as I am when I have love. So, in terms of like happiness, I feel like I get more out of love. What about you, Darian? Have you done the math? Have you figured out your answer?
Well, I was just trying to look up a quote.
Okay.
And it's not serious. It's a reference.
Okay. Are you gonna get this podcast banned from iTunes?
No. It's just I am the pretty guardian in a sailor suit, guardian of love and justice, Sailor Moon. So it's like the thing she says after she transforms and stuff. So that was the first thing I thought was like, oh, Sailor Moon says something about love when she transforms. Love, Sailor Moon. I mean, come on. So I was trying to.
That was totally worth.
There you go.
So your team love?
Love, yeah.
Okay.
I fight for love and justice. Love.
I'm here to
And
get
justice.
paid. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a like.
Love's cool, I guess, but it's also a lie. Love.
I've already seen a really cool picture of hashtag Team Money. Of it's just like, you only do stuff for money, and the person replies like, yeah, bitch.
Jeez.
So yeah,
In the name of Demacia, I will punish you.
Probably next
I understood that
podcast
reference.
I'll try and remember to let people know how that shook out.
Lux, right?
Yeah, Lux.
Thank you.
Sailor Lux.
I used to love Lux.
There will be another big fight coming down between the ponies. Tell me about that, Darian. Tell me about the pony battles.
So, them's fighting herds.
That is a
Is a
sweet
new-
name. That is a
It's
good
new
name.
My Little Pony inspired fighting game. I didn't read any of the article. I don't think it needs to be read. I just picked it for the headline, which is, I mean,
The art style is very My Little Pony. It makes sense.
Yeah.
These horses are legit though. They're fucking going at it.
Oh yeah, the trailer, the comment looks super good. It is coming to Windows PC on February 22nd.
It's my favorite type of PC.
Yeah, nobody wants that Linux shit up in here. But yeah,
them's fighting herds.
basically it looks like you're,
Hurts.
My Little Pony-esque ponies doing sweet-ass kicks and stuff.
Dude, sweet ass kicks.
Flips and kicks and shit. kicks and flips and shit.
So stay tuned for that. But that brings us to the end of the news and the beginning of topic of the show.
Tots.
There we go.
It's copyright infringement.
Nope, took it.
no,
We're
is
gonna
it?
get sued.
We took it.
We're
I
gonna
don't
get
even
sued.
listen
That's
to that.
Okay. Interesting.
She had an original thought that is no way associated with anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Many huge
I
creators.
just heard Bryce do it before. Sorry.
Many huge creators like Logan Paul and Dr. Disrespect have had drama surrounding their behavior recently, namely its effect on younger audience members. What do you think is our responsibility as creators and streamers as role models towards our younger audience members? What do you think, Darian?
I mean, I don't really have that much of an opinion on this, TBH.
Okay, well, let me like start off with my thought. Like, I know a large portion of we're all Twitch streamers, and a large portion of Twitch's audience is people under 18. Like, you can sign up when you're 13, but let's be honest, there's people signing up even younger than that.
There's people streaming even younger than that.
Yeah. So when they will watch streamers regularly, and I know people active in my community when I was an active streamer were under 18, were 15, were 13, and I thought of like the way I'm acting is going to affect the way they are acting. If I am, sexist or harassing people or swearing, they're going to see that behavior and see it as acceptable and normal, and they're going to copy that behavior. So when even small streamers do it, or someone huge who has millions of younger people watching them every day, like, as weird as it is, we're role models for them, or at least we have an effect on these younger audience. And like, I think we have a responsibility to not be shitty.
Here's the thing. I think we totally have a responsibility to not be shitty, but I think you always, as a person, have a responsibility not to be shitty. But that's like one side of the discussion. I think another side of the discussion is people being like, you're a role model for kids, so you shouldn't be like swearing or having like adult sense of humor or stuff like that. And I think that's where you got to draw the line. You're just like, this is. I mean, I'm not streaming. Like I remember I was streaming. I think it was Watch Dogs 2. And I was making some dumb sex joke and like cussing. And at one somebody in chat was like, yeah, I'm 11. I'm like, what are you doing? Don't watch this. This is a bad idea. Like, it's not like because I'm saying stuff that's going to influence them badly, but a lot of it, they're not going to get. A lot of it is also like, just, this isn't geared towards you. Like, that's not who I'm targeting in a way. And I think a lot of it comes down to don't be a shitty person.
Yeah.
And it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean that's just a good a good idea for life.
To be like, I have no problem like swearing. I mean, not excessively swearing, but like, I remember when I was, I don't know, like 10, I had an older kid like teach me all the swear words, and that was before like the internet was a thing. So the kids know swear words. Let's not pretend.
Yeah.
I taught all of my friends in elementary school what sex was.
I think one of the things is also just like they're gonna find out shit eventually. They shouldn't be on the internet if they're not ready for life, because the internet's gonna come at you hard, as we all remember, because that's life and the internet.
I would be okay with my kid watching you, Teddy. Like,
all right, well,
you
good.
Like, I
guess
I don't. Like, you're in a fine, like, role model, I guess. Like, you don't do anything that I don't think anybody would be upset about their kids seeing. And Darian does a few things that I would be kind of skittish
Interesting. What would that be?
She
I
says...
literally, earlier this, like at the beginning before the podcast started, I was shaking my boobs and my butt in the screen.
You also...
Don't we have new Twitch community guidelines?
None of my privates were showing.
Yeah, you just have to be dressed appropriately. I don't think it has
I'm dressed
specific
appropriately.
rules about what parts are shaking. She does tend to say, I should kill myself or stuff a lot. That's probably not something...
That's probably not good.
Listen, I'm working on that. I've been doing really good about not saying that as much.
So...
I dropped it about a dozen times last stream, but...
I feel like Darren could maybe improve in her role modelness, but I've...
Well, and here's where I come from, though. Like, that's why my channel is intended for mature audiences.
I think all of our channels are marked as such.
I think I'm not sure mine is actually set to that. It should be, but I'm not sure if the setting is doing that. As soon as I got my channel, as soon as I started setting up for streaming, I was like, I curse like a sailor. Like, I am always swearing. It's just a part of who I am. And I was like, even if I'm not doing something else inappropriate, like, I'm gonna swear a lot. So I am intended for mature audiences. So I guess that may be something that should be looked into more. Because, like, I don't know if clicking into some of those big name streamers, if you get that notification, I'm pretty sure most of them aren't set up that way.
I think... Like, in terms of your effect on others, I think harassment and things like Dr. Disrespect's kind of racist. He did a Asian accent while making fun of cheaters on PUBG, which him doing that makes it look like being racist is fine. And that's not, like... swearing is whatever. People are gonna swear or what, you know. If someone grew up and just swore, they would still be a good person. I don't think anyone's gonna have a problem with someone growing up to be someone who swears. But someone growing up to be...
too.
Yeah.
There are people who definitely have problems with that.
Yeah. Someone growing up to be racist is a shitty person. So... But, yeah, just if you stream, if you make YouTube videos, if you do Instagram, if you are in any way on the internet, just think about how...
Get off the internet, number one. Number two, if you don't follow number one, go with what's pressing.
Yeah, just think about how younger people are going to be affected by your content. And would you want your younger brother or your kids or future kids to see your content and stuff? So just think about that, and don't be shitty. I don't care if you swear. I think that's completely fine. Even like being a little showing off your body, like that's somewhat fine. Just don't like harass other people's or say like kill yourself. Like that Mixer has very good rules of like, you will get banned for saying kill yourself on Mixer.
It's just a lot of people have different lines. Like a lot of I know my parents would be very, very upset if I at a young age was watching which spoilers I was watching somebody who was like swearing and stuff like that. So the line's different for everybody, but for the most part, I think Bryce is just saying don't do anything that's like don't be mean to other people.
Yeah.
Don't
be a dick.
I mean? Yeah, don't be a dick.
But yeah, just something to think about.
You're allowed to have one, but can't be one.
Going into the questions. Do you want to be part of the show? Go to readysetgamecast.com/submit. Darian's already tried to get out of the show, but I forced her to stick around.
I've tried.
I keep trying to make this show shorter, but it never works, and we always talk about Splatoon for 20 minutes.
Last week was really good. We're on a really good track this week. Let's keep going.
Go to readysetgamecast.com/submit to submit a question, comment, or something that Darian's gonna think of. Say something as a third thing, Darian.
Your favorite sailor. from
Okay.
Sailor Moon.
Submit your favorite sailor for Sailor
I
Moon
want
for
to
us
know
to
what
read
your
on the
favorite
show.
sailor is.
Now we have one question sent in by Bryce, and he asks, what is a game that has helped you get through a difficult time in your life? Darian, do you have an answer? She's bringing up a big Kingdom Hearts blanket. This is an audio podcast, but she's doing official representation.
Da, 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 da.
Kingdom Hearts is her answer, apparently. Tell me about that experience.
So when I was in like 7th grade, well, the summer before 7th grade, my parents split up.
Oh.
And I had the first Kingdom Hearts, and the Christmas before that, I'd gotten Kingdom Hearts 2. And I would literally, like, lock myself in my bedroom and play it with, like, my headphones in, and I'd be right up next to this little 13-inch TV while my parents fought out in the living room. So that game got me through a really tough time in my life.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Teddy?
I have a couple of answers for these, but I'm only going to mainly go with the one answer, and I'm going to try and keep it short, because I told Bryce before we started, I saw this question, and I was like, I could easily talk about this forever. This could be like a topic of the show. I'm literally writing my first essay in my third-year writing class. I'm writing on this. I always say Destiny 1, and I always say that when... like, that's what I always go back to when I think about, like, why I want to work in the industry, and, like, I mean, there were a lot of games that influenced me, but that's one of the ones that, like, shows how magical games can be and how they can affect you. I moved to Nashville from Montgomery, Alabama, where, like, all my friends were, in my senior year of high school. So, didn't really get to finish high school with, like, all my friends. And I moved up here with my parents, who my dad works at, like, a law school here. So he had a really good job opportunity. So we moved up here, and I was like, I didn't know anyone at all for like a year, and I was homeschooled. So I was going through my last. Don't shake your head at that. That wasn't my choice. Also, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. What? You got any beef with homeschoolers?
Off, just not experiencing.
I took many classes. I played football for many years. I had jobs. Went to church, actually. But no, that's a big misconception that homeschoolers are closed off. Like, it's not like you're Amish. Like, you live with the society and you do other things that, like, but yeah, that's besides the point.
I don't know.
All of my friends
in the movie,
that
they really, like, isolated that one kid that was homeschooled. I'm sorry. I'm just being an asshole. I'm just
okay. Can we find out about Destiny?
Yeah, besides the point, all of my friends from, like, my classes and my sports and my jobs and all that, from Alabama were, like, left behind, and I was the only, like, I didn't know anyone, and I never, I'm not somebody to be, like, lonely, especially, like, growing up. I never really felt the feeling of loneliness until I was like 16 or 17. Like, I always heard people be like, "Oh, I'm so lonely." I'm like, really? I'm just chilling. Yeah, that's cool. I'm just chilling, you know? So when I moved here was like one of the first times that I really ever like felt that, because like there was no one. I was just by myself. And I also had like the upstairs room, which was like a pretty big room. So I don't know, it felt kind of empty. So as time went on, the point is, Bryce, calm down. Don't rush me through like a rough time in my life, right? But Destiny actually helped me connect with friends who lived in Alabama, and I had a couple of friends who lived in Indiana. I had one who who still lives in Minnesota. So Destiny was a game that I would get on every night and play with friends and like really still be able to connect with people, right? Whereas I wasn't able to in the actual location. I was able to get on, hang out with my friends, and keep connections. So it really helped me through first couple months really of living in Nashville.
I believe the Minnesota person he's referring to is Adam Wells.
Nope.
Well, fuck
Didn't
you.
know him until like last year.
I don't know which Minnesota person, but
You don't know him. He doesn't really play games with me too much anymore.
He does associate with Adam Wells, who is a cool dude that I've met through Destiny too, playing the beta hangout on the farm. And since then, I have met him in person and stayed at his house. And even Darian has met him.
There you go. Oh, just as an example, one of the people we met in year 1 of Destiny, where me and like my core group of like 4, I would say 2 of them were in Alabama, 1 of them was in Indiana. That's like probably a core group of 4 right there as the main people that played. When we went on LFG to do raids, we found this group of 2, J Money and Fleabag. Fleabag doesn't play with us anymore, but we still play with J Money. Like 4 years later, and we're talking about going down to Guardian Con in the summer, and he lives like near Tampa, so he was like, man, you guys can totally stay with us if you want. And we're gonna go down, me and Andrew hopefully are gonna go down and stay with Jameson, this guy who we've known for like 4 years now from raiding in Destiny. So pretty cool. Video games are awesome.
So now I get to tell my story.
Yeah, I'll rush you through it.
I didn't need to know like your living situation.
Well, that was the whole point of how it helped.
I think at the time you were like, it was like the top room and stuff, and I was
yeah, I don't know. It felt really isolated because my family was downstairs. I was like up there by myself.
But about 10 years ago, some stuff went very south for me, and I was homeless. And I ended up like scraping, like my grandma sent me money, and I managed to scrape together enough money to just get like the smallest apartment possible. And I did not have money for internet or cable or anything. I just had like the place provided electricity and water, so I could not afford any utilities. I was just paying for the place, and all I had was like a shitty couch, a very old TV, and a PlayStation 2. And I would go to my job at the grocery store, and then I would come home, and I would just play Final Fantasy 12. It was the one after 10 that wasn't online. 11's online, right?
I think, yeah.
Okay, so Final Fantasy 12. And I'd just play that just like until I fell asleep, and it just like, I had nothing to do or nothing going on, and that game just like was my only source of entertainment at the time. And like I honestly don't know what I like would have done other than that. And like that's the only Final Fantasy game I've beaten. That's one of the few games I have beaten of any games. And just like I really appreciate games' ability to just like distract me from the shit I had going on at the time. So
yeah, man. I always like, every now and then I've had to write essays on games, and it's always like, which angle am I going to take this time? Like, I could talk about the competition and like esports and how that's growing, or just competition in general for people who like, I used to get, when I played football in high school, it really like scratched that competitive itch, and then ever since then, I've been able to play certain games that also scratch that itch without me having to go out and, get injured. And like, there's that angle that you can take. You can also take the stories that can change you, the stories that the worlds that you can immerse yourself in, like the distractions. You can take the connecting with your friends angle. Like, video games are fucking magical. That's how I'm gonna end that.
Okay, so
big fan.
Getting into housekeeping. Go to ReadySetGamecast.com for links to the podcast on all your favorite podcast services, including iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher, as well as the video version on youtube.com/lastgeek.
I will interrupt your housekeeping for 1 second. If y'all have any like stories of like how video games helped you through a rough time in your life, or like what makes you love them, like hit me up on Twitter at Teddy Chinaris, or like say it in the comments of the YouTube video or anything like that. I'd love to know.
Or submit it.
Yeah, or submit it for sure.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. We could definitely talk about that more in a future episode. If you like the show, if you listen to this and we're like, these are cool cats, I want to hear more about their life stories.
What about dogs though?
No, we're all cats. Fuck off.
If you like the show, please.
I want to be a cat.
Please subscribe, rate, and review it on iTunes and Stitcher. It helps us grow and become more powerful.
I'll do one arm.
Your arm is not that bad.
Getting me.
Like, your arm isn't bad. Like,
Well, real talk. My bicep is like decent, like without having it to do any work. Everything else is like terrible. Like bicep's not awful.
Teddy.
Like, without working out,
Teddy,
it's not awful.
you've been talking to a lady recently, haven't you?
Not really.
Okay, well, you've been talking to a lady. I heard about this. And if you ever go on a date and she comes back to your house, you want to know how to like make her fall in love with you? Want to know the hot tips?
Let me show her my Funko Pop collection.
No.
Is that gonna do it? No? Oh wow, interesting.
Pick
My
her
strategy's
up.
all wrong.
Find some excuse to lift her up. Every like girls
What?
Yeah.
What?
Darian
This
agrees.
is not where I expected this
Yeah.
to go.
Women love being picked up.
Yeah.
It makes them feel like they because women are constantly criticizing themselves. Like I'm always like, God, I'm so fat, I look gross, and like we're just awful to ourselves. If you pick her up, she's gonna be like, oh, he's so strong, and like I'm not that bad. Like
Yeah.
it's a confidence boost, and it makes you look really good too.
Well,
Yeah.
good to know. One, totally couldn't do that to a 50-pound person, so gonna have to work on that.
Learn. There are ways that you can like carries if they put their arms in the right places. It's easy. It's not hard.
Okay, all
learn-
right. Didn't
like
expect this
Google
to be
how
the...
to pick up a girl.
think
if you want-
the Google search will probably have different results.
If you want to pick
Then
up a girl,
physically.
pick up a girl. I guess how to pick up a human would
That's-
probably.
Interesting way to
But
close
there's
out
your
the show.
hot
All right,
dating
cool.
tips. Now we have one additional section because this is not the only Last Geek podcast anymore. So we've got some new news.
But
in
we're the best one. Get those out of here.
That's not actually the new podcast. Is actually gets more listens than this. But anyway,
Boo.
It's cheating though.
Losers.
it is.
It's basically a fan cast.
We
so
we are ripping off another podcast. So this is original content, and this
this is the best OG content.
Okay. But episode 0 of GameMate Corp is out. It's already been released in this feed, but future episode, well, it's already also released in its own feed. Just search on iTunes or whatever podcast services you're using to listen to this for GameMate Corp, and you'll find its feed, and future episodes will be released over there. So if you liked the first episode 0, or just think I'm a cool dude, head over there, subscribe. I really appreciate it. A new episode will be releasing Friday, February 23rd. I will be releasing every other Friday from now on. So there will be at least one Last Geek podcast releasing every Friday from now on. If RSG isn't releasing, GameMate Corp will be. And I've just come up with a really stupid idea, and I'm going to pursue it. A new video series on youtube.com/lastgeek called Food Crimes, where I eat greater amounts of food every day. I'll be starting off with eating one sausage McGriddle, then the next day two sausage McGriddles. How many sausage McGriddles will I make it to? Find out on Food Crimes.
What's the crime part of it? Like,
Because
just because
I'm-
then
How
it's
many he's
illegal,
eating?
that it should
Yeah,
be
it is-
illegal to eat that much?
Yes, that is the
Alright.
crime. But that brings us to the end of the show. It has been a awesome time hanging out with you guys. But where can people find you, Darian?
Twitch.tv/dexterity, Instagram.com/dexterity, Facebook.com/dexterity, Twitter.com/dexterity. And you can search my name on YouTube. You can't, I'm not cool enough to have youtube.com/dexterity. And you can follow me on Snapchat at Darian Lee.
People still use Snapchat after the new update?
Yeah.
Now, is there one more place that people could go to?
Dexterity.com.
Why do you sound so sad about that?
Because you took it from me.
Well, yeah,
You
but
didn't
it's still
want
a
it.
Solid URL.
I could point it to your YouTube, and then you don't have people have to search for it.
Don't do that. Then I might have to start putting shit there. That's work. I don't have time for that.
Teddy
Dude,
Chinaris,
same.
where do you want people to look at?
Twitter.com/Teddy Chinaris. Chinaris spelled Chinaris. Because I said I signed for a mail package at work today, and he was like, last name? I was like, Chinaris. And then I immediately started to spell it because he was looking at it. I said Chinaris, and he was like, he looked up like, excuse me, sir?
I would have just written Teddy and moved on with my day.
Yeah. Let's see, twitch.tv/Teddy Chinaris as well. But go there and scroll down in the panels and click Discord and follow that Discord because I announce when I go live these days because part-time working at 2 different jobs and twitching and school and also hopefully more editing soon is a lot of time. So I don't stream as much these days, sadly. But this semester so far, I've been streaming Tuesday nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's kind of what it's been. So be on the lookout then. Bryce, where can people find you?
You should start doing some video essays. That'll be a good combination of your
about
stuff.
that? Yeah.
Twitter, Last Geek. Last Geek Plays Last Geek Plays Twitter account is where I promote all of the stuff for the different podcasts, and also like there is a Game 8 Corp podcast or Twitter, but that doesn't get used much. And also there's a Game 8 Corp Twitter, but sometimes I'll post really bad game ideas there, like ones that are too bad for the podcast. I'll throw them over there.
Like every Sonic game, lol.
Yes, it's just
I don't even have any beef with Sonic. I just know that's a thing. Sorry.
The
Sorry,
Twitter
Sonic
account
fans.
is just like
Don't come
Sonic
at me.
1, Sonic 2, Sonic and Knuckles. Instagram is Last Geek Plays. YouTube.com/LastGeek. Other places, I can't. You've listened to the podcast
MySpace,
before, you know the places.
farmersonly.com.
Facebook.com/LastGeek. I own that one. That's mine. But
WordPress.com/LastGeek.
No. Thank you for listening to another awesome episode of Ready Set Gamecast. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Go see Paddington 2.
You're one of them people.
It's so cute.